Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my NFL Preseason Reactions. Now, I didn't plan to do this. I don't think I'm going to do this after every week of preseason, but this being the first week, I think it was pretty exciting, and there's quite a bit to talk about. Before we hop into the video, we got a couple of quick plugs as always, so don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products, or guarantee yourself to win an instant $50 with your first $5 wager if you use code WyattzWorld during sign up on Prize Picks. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into the video. Alright, so first game we're going to be reacting to is the Lions losing to the Giants, and this one will be really short because the Lions didn't start anybody who I cared to watch, so I barely paid attention to this game. I will say a couple things on the Giants side of things. One, Drew Lock, 4 for 10, 17 yards, 1 pick. I did not watch him play, but what in the hell? And two, the Giants might have a demon in Eric Gray. Now keep in mind it is just preseason, but this guy had 4 carries for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as led the team in receiving at 4 receptions for 46 yards. Like, if this guy isn't careful, he's gonna fuck around and take Devin Singletary's job, and then I'm gonna hate him. Outside of that, though, I don't have a lot of talking points. Like, the only things I saw from this game were Eric Gray highlights on Twitter and then YouTube after the game. Moving on, we got the Panthers at the Patriots. This game was lousy as hell until Joe Milton came into the game. Like, this sucked. Nobody on Carolina played, not even Bryce. For fuck's sakes, Jordan Matthews. Yep, that Jordan Matthews that you're thinking of. He led the team in receiving. The Patriots only let Drake May throw the ball 3 times, then put Zappy in for majority of the time. Stevenson got 1 carry. Like, it was extremely boring. You know, until my boy Joe fucking Milton came into the game. I really do think that this game is going to do him a lot of justice going forward for people believing in him as a quarterback. You saw a really nice scramble out of him. He had a wide open touchdown throw, but it was a bullet. It was a beautiful looking ball. He actually looked really good, but I gotta say right now, the people that are saying you'd take him over Drake May already, especially the Patriot fans, like, what are you even saying? Like, Drake was in the game for a whole ass minute, dude. So I think you're crazy to try and already count him out, but you are in the right if you're excited about potentially having an electric backup. All right, next game we had the Falcons losing to the Dolphins. I paid attention to this game just to see some Michael Penix and actually really liked what I saw out of him. Now, he went 9 for 16, 104, and he did have a couple lousy throws in there, but the thing out of the little bit that we got to see that I picked up the most is how comfortable he is taking the snap and how little he hesitates. Like, he didn't look like a guy in his first preseason game ever, dude. He was just taking the snap and fucking hucking the ball, and he was making some pretty nice connections. If he's actually not expected to play for 2 more years and he's supposed to just take notes behind Kirk Cousins, I'm willing to bet he's gonna turn out to be pretty decent. As far as Miami goes, I didn't really pay attention at all when they were on the field. I did see Jalen Wright had a nice run, and he just had a nice day in general, 10 for 55. And Tanner Conner had a nice day receiving, 3 receptions for 70 yards. It's just that we'll probably never hear that name again. Moving on, we got the Texans at the Steelers. This game, I got nothing, man. I saw 2 bits of it. That's it. The Tank Dell touchdown and Stephon Diggs yelling at CJ Stroud on the sideline, which I'll talk about. But as far as the Steelers go, I wasn't trying to watch Kyle Allen. As far as the rest of the Texan goes, I was not trying to watch Davis Mills or Case Keenum or Tim fucking Boyle, who apparently still has a job. Now back to CJ and Diggs, because there's a clip going around of Diggs being very theatrical talking to CJ. Look, trust me, I understand people don't like Diggs. They want to make him a bad guy all the time. I genuinely think that they were just having a fucking conversation. Like, I do, but I don't feel bad for Diggs, because literally anytime he talks to one of his teammates now, it is going to be this. Next game we got is the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Ravens. I had no idea that this game happened until right now. Heard nothing about it, saw nothing about it. Doesn't look like I missed anything because I recognize one fucking name on the entire Eagles roster right here. Okay, that's not true because my boy John Ross had 3 catches for 28 yards, but Kenny Pickett played majority of the game for Philly. And when it comes to Baltimore, you've got to be a pretty diehard individual to sit down and watch Devin Leary and Josh Johnson play quarterback for 2 hours. They threw the ball a total of 22 times. Moving on, we have the Commanders at the Jets. I paid attention to this one to see Jaden's 3 throws, and then I checked out when he did, because you could not have paid me money to give a shit about this. It's unfortunate, too, because, like, the one thing I wanted to see was Jaden Daniels, which I got to see, but not enough to even have an opinion on him. Like, this was atrocious. Moving on, we got the Bears kicking the shit out of the Bills 33-6, and never have I seen so little out of someone, but so much at the same time. Caleb Williams. That guy looks so good. And I've been high on him. I've been talking good about him, so I don't have to eat my words, but I can kind of take a victory lap because the guy looks like he is fucking ready to go. We got to see him evade pressure. We got to see him make a hell of a throw on the run. We got to see his improvising skills with his little dump-off flip pass that he did. Like, it sucks to say it coming from a Vikings supporter, but man, Chicago, I think they've got their guy. And I don't want to jump too early again because it's preseason, but shit. As far as the Bills go, well, there ain't much to talk about at all. Josh barely got to play the game. Frank Gore Jr. actually got 7 carries. But we were lousy as hell all day, and us stopping the run? That's a fucking problem, apparently. Every single person who touched the ball on Chicago's side damn near ate us up. Another big concern a lot of Bills fans have coming out of this game is the fact that we probably need another backup or a better backup. That I can agree with. I think we should just go get Ryan Tannehill. Why not? But yeah, this was not an impressive game by any means. Like, I was checked out pretty fast. Now moving on, we got the Raiders at the Vikings, where the Vikings were able to come back and sneak out a win. Hey, they actually have a kicker who can end a game. First off, JJ McCarthy. I know that he didn't start off that hot. He had that ugly pick, but like he said, right after that, he settled in and he looked really good. He's mobile, got a nice spiral. He's got a lot better of an arm than I think I saw at training camp. Another couple of guys who had a nice day. Keeney Ngwanu, is that how you say it? Been on the team for a while. I just don't know how to fucking pronounce it, but he had 5 for 52 and a touchdown. Actually, all of the running backs ate production-wise. Receiving had a good day. Jalen Naylor continues to impress. Tristan Jackson, I believe he was the number 8 guy I saw at training camp. He had a great day. And how can you forget about Dallas Turner already making his defensive impact in the little bit he's gotten to play? This guy's gonna be a machine. Now, in terms of the Raiders, I don't really have a lot to say at all, or a lot of good to say. Gardner Minshew, I still would probably roll with as the quarterback. But the Raider run game was lousy as hell. And if it wasn't for your kicker kicking 11 points for you guys, this wouldn't have been a game past halftime. Next game I'm going to be reacting to will be very quick, but it's the Packers at the Browns, and I saw one play, and it was a touchdown pass from Love to Dontavian Wicks. Obviously, it was a nice play, but it was one play. I do have a question for Packer fans, though. Are you guys in favor of maybe putting A.J. Dillon down a few spots on the depth chart? I mean, he is above both Emmanuel Wilson and Marshawn Lloyd, and I know Marshawn Lloyd only got 1 carry, but in that 1 carry, he got fucking 4 times the yardage A.J. Dillon got in 4. I've said it before, he's a nice guy, but he is ass. Now moving on, we got the Chiefs at the Jags, where I got to see Pat play, I got to see Trevor play, and I also got to see Hollywood Brown already suffer a shoulder injury, which is pretty significant to the Chiefs if it turns out to be serious. Not a lot to talk about on the Chiefs side of things here. I will say that their passing game was very accurate. They were 22 for 27 as a unit, but that's about all there is to highlight. As far as the Jags go, you know, Trevor, he looked okay. 3 for 4, had a nice little touchdown to ETN. Mac Jones was actually very accurate, went 9 for 11. And even though I only got to see one big play out of him, Brian Thomas Jr. is looking like he might be a really nice weapon to have for Trevor. That boy has got hands. Now moving on, we got the Bucs at the Bengals, and unfortunately all I have to say about this one is the only play I saw was T. Higgins making number 32 on Tampa Bay look like a complete dipshit. That's all I cared about was watching Joe Burrow play, like that's it. So as long as Joe Burrow was in the game, I was paying attention. The second he was done with that drive, tuned out. Would like to point out there is quite the difference with the Tampa Bay running backs that played though. Sean Tucker, 10 for 68, and then DJ Williams, 10 for 29. What wasn't DJ understanding that Sean was? Like, oh my gosh. Now moving on, we have the 49ers at the Titans, and I do have a couple takeaways on this one, majority of them about the Titans. Now, 49ers, they didn't play anybody on their offense worth watching, so it was hard to pay attention to them. However, Josh Dobbs did have a hero miraculous touchdown run where he got annihilated going in and held onto the ball. But that's about all San Francisco did. Titans, on the other hand. First, I'm going to go at their running. Tony Pollard, I actually thought looked really good. Tajay Spears, I was underwhelmed with. He did have a touchdown run, but that guy actually kind of looked like what I used to make fun of Najee Harris for, and that's having fucking concrete in his shoes. It looks like the guy was moving at like 2 miles an hour. I love the guy, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he looks slow. Also, in terms of the quarterbacks, I would actually probably have Mason Rudolph as number 3. I'm not shitting you. Now, obviously, me having Will being the starter, I think Malik Willis actually ain't that bad. He might be one of those guys that's just slowly been kind of developing, because the guy that I got to see play in the preseason game, we got to see him have a couple nice runs, made some nice throws. Like having a guy like that in the pocket versus someone like Mason Rudolph, you're having way more opportunities with Malik to drive down the field than you are with Mason. I don't hate Mason at all. I just don't think he's in any position to even be contending for a starting role here. Moving on, we got the Seahawks defeating the Chargers, and nope, no, didn't watch it, don't care about it. I know Sam Howell threw a touchdown pass, and my only takeaway from the Chargers is that their passing game was deliriously terrible. 14 for 32 and a pick? Oh. Woo! I know Justin Herbert wasn't playing, but what the fuck? Moving on, we had the Saints beating the Cardinals, and I just paid attention to this to watch Spencer Rattler play, and that was it. And we did get to see a pretty good amount of him, and he doesn't look terrible, but he looks extremely green. He did have a rushing touchdown, but passing, he has some ball control issues. Made a couple of pretty risky decisions that I think he's lucky just resulted in incompletions. However, I will say the guy shows promise. He doesn't look like he's hesitant to pass. He's not hesitant to use his legs at all. And I don't just mean that from a rushing standpoint. I'm meaning getting out of the pocket to make a throw happen. Like, he has it in him. But if he started right now, I think it'd be a fucking disaster. Moving on, we have the shootout between the Broncos and the Colts. I watched this to see Bo Nix and AR, and unfortunately, I didn't really get to see enough of AR to give an opinion, but I did get to see enough of Bo Nix. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's gonna be a very underrated and overhated player. Like, yeah, get your laughs out. He played in college for 5 years. He's old. He's on a laughing stock of an organization. Might not throw the best deep ball in the league, but when it all comes down to it, the guy that I saw in this preseason game, he looked accurate, he looked comfortable, he looked confident. He was very good at going through his progression. I think he is going to be a very good field general, and I think he is going to be a guy who utilizes all talent on that team. I don't think any receiver is going to have an overlying amount of yards more than the rest of everybody else. I think he is going to light up who's open. I think he is going to pick the safest options. And like I said before, I will not be shocked if he has a better start than the rest of the rookies, considering how much longer he has played at a more professional level. And ending, we got the Cowboys-Rams shit show. The worst preseason game I have ever seen. This was so bad. Like, tell me honestly, what's worse? The fact that we had to watch only Stetson Bennett play for the Rams where he threw 4 interceptions? Or us being forced to watch the Cowboys let Trey Lance throw the ball 41 times and not throw up a single point? This turned into a legitimate hate watch for me. And it's funny because I don't hate either of these teams, but this game was so terrible that it had me hoping for more terrible things to happen just to add to how historically fucking terrible this was. Like, I honestly applaud anybody who went to this game in person because this seriously would have driven me out the door. And that is gonna do it for my preseason reactions, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I didn't pay attention to every single game, but tried to pay attention to most. If you guys like this video, you already know what to do to show support, and please do it because you know I appreciate any and all help. However, in the meantime, I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.